Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Hey,
and we're back. Barely.
welcome back, First Dibs podcast, January 24th, 2025. I liked how the Daily Show used to do that. I thought that was because it was the Daily Show, so so you knew if you were watching the right one or not. They announced it at the start of the show.
Makes sense.
So, my headphones sound a little funny. I don't know what that's all about.
Mine are quiet.
Are they? Well, do you want to turn them up? That's that
that's good.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know. Something's goofy in the world today. It's the First Dibs podcast live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. I'm John. That's Justin. And we had a busy day.
Super busy.
I think, did we sell 4 cars?
4 local.
Yeah.
And 1 out of state.
That's great. I have felt like I haven't been doing enough. Like it just has been kind of a slog. Is that a word?
It is now.
Okay.
This is published.
Yeah. What it means is I'm getting like mired down in the muck, and I'm just not making the progress that the effort that I'm putting in should be making. But I've got 8 cars out.
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect, so that's kind of cool.
And we still have a week.
We still got a week to go. So that's fun. So new cars.
Yes.
The one I'm most excited about is what year is it? 2007 you thought? I thought it was a 2004. Let's see if we can verify.
It might be an 04. It seems like a late car to me though.
04 feels late for an S2000 for me, but I don't know. It's a Honda S2000.
Yeah, that's right.
Tiny little
High revving.
double power Miata.
Yep. Manual transmission, convertible.
38,000 miles.
Yeah. White, black interior.
With red. The interior has
the
red.
Two-tone. Stock.
Which
is awesome, right? For a Honda S2000.
Yeah. And it looks so good.
It looks great.
You're right. It was an 07.
I mean, definitely really well taken care of. There's like one little, you can tell there's a repair spot that happened in the convertible top on the driver's side.
Okay.
But, I mean, maybe you know this, but I want to say when the Honda S2000 came out, it was the highest horsepower per liter production car.
I agree with that statement. 120 horsepower per liter is what I remember. Like the originals were a 2 liter,
right?
240 horse. And then later they bumped it to a 2.2.
Okay. And
I think the power stayed the same, but the torque went up.
Okay.
Somebody should correct me on all of those things. But I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Just a super fun car to drive.
Yeah. Do you fit? I've never driven one.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember there being a problem with where my right knee landed.
Yeah. I can see
that. Like I couldn't get on a pedal and have the steering wheel.
So yeah, the pedal box is really deep in the car, which is nice.
That's great. Yep.
So getting in the car, like the ingress and egress is a little tricky. But I could see, because the steering wheel has a kind of limited, change of motion. Yep. And so I could see that for long legs, your right knee getting pinched kind of between the wheel and the console.
I think
it's a massive center console in the car.
Yeah, I think that's right. I remember not being able to like put my leg forward to where it needed to be to step on the gas.
And even the starting procedure, I think, is kind of cool because it uses a key and a push button. So you still have to use the key to turn it on, and then you push button to start. So
do it to it.
Yeah. But hidden radio, it's all factory stuff. It's super. It's a really cool, fun
That's
car.
A great car.
Yeah.
That will never be worth less than it's worth today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is my opinion on it.
No, that's a very fun car. Another one just came in today.
It's interesting to me that Honda hasn't had like that bloodline sports car. They've kind of like picked them up and dropped them and picked them up and dropped them.
Right.
Like maybe the Civic Type R's and stuff like that have been around in Japan and the US a little bit. So you kind of had that pop up and come through. but the Prelude, remember those?
Yeah.
Those were super cool. Those died along
Right.
with all of the, two-door Japanese inexpensive sports cars. NSX, had a couple little pops, but I don't think the first NSX and the second NSX, there didn't feel like a coherent line between them necessarily. Not to take anything away from either of them, but that just didn't feel like an evolution
Right.
to me. So
No, that's a good point. That's a very valid point. Because they certainly could have.
yeah, I mean, even if it was just a fun project loss leader,
Right.
just keep it going.
Right.
Come on, guys. What are you doing there?
Right. And then another one showed up just today. It's a 2019 Cayenne Turbo with 58,000 miles on it.
Yep.
Great build. It's a good color combination. It's got ceramic brakes. That's been a local car, I think, for quite a while.
It's the quartzite gray.
That sounds
I don't remember the interior color. I didn't get a chance to look at it.
and that one, this has the espresso cognac interior, I think. It's nice.
That's truffle and cohiba.
Yeah. It's really, really cool.
Yep.
So I'm excited to get that one through the process. And then, what was the other car that we were talking about right before the show? Oh, the black GT3 Touring that we had once before with the cream interior, the manufacturer exclusive.
Somebody got stuck in Huntington Beach rush hour traffic.
Right.
Is it Huntington Beach? Is that a place in California?
That's a place.
Okay,
Huntington
yeah, I don't know where the guy's actually from, but it's not my client, so I actually don't. But decided PDK, I need a Turbo S. So
Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, so it's a 2024 or 23 GT3 Touring. It's one of our
It's a
cars.
4. It's 24.
It's a 4, yeah.
Yep.
Even so now it still only has 750 miles on it.
788.
788. There you go.
Actually, Lupe just drove it around the block. So I'm going to say 791.
Okay. I mean, beautiful car. That two-tone interior is just
It's just
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it said cream. I think it's chalk. Looks very chalky chalk to me.
It's pretty white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The two-tone, the manual transmission.
beautiful, great car. Yep.
And then we've got a Cayenne hybrid coming in.
Yeah. Should we drop the bomb?
Might as well.
I got fired today. So I have to turn in my Delp.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. But Porsche has a new program where dealership employees can turn in their current lease to get into one of the new Macan electrics. And Lauren and I talked about it. We thought it'd be fun. This is our third Cayenne. We've loved them. The space is great on this new hybrid. I think without even trying, she did 1,500 miles on a tank of gas.
Right.
So it's been wonderful. Great car. And we're actually a little nervous about losing some of the space. But I think it's good to, embrace the new. The Macan is a super important product for Porsche. So to be in it and live with it and have it and really understand it, Lauren is going to be a fantastic salesperson.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
hopefully I get a chance to drive it a little bit too.
Yeah.
But it's ice gray.
Very cool. Awesome
with
color.
a black and Bordeaux interior.
Very cool.
It's got some wood trim inside, which kind of looks fun. Sunwood, sunset,
Okay.
something. Black roof rails,
Yes.
trailer hitch, off-road package,
Nice.
or off-road front fascia, which
Okay.
takes it has a splitter on it normally, and it pulls that back in.
Right.
Which I think will be kind of nice to not clip on speed bumps and
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So I hope it doesn't ding the range too much. I would think it probably will affect it somehow, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, super cool car.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And this is your first all electric car.
Yeah, yep.
That's awesome.
We'll see how it goes.
The kids are going to love it.
Yeah, it's got rear sunblinds.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, your kids are obviously used to now, having some cars with some performance to them, the acceleration and the braking, and the Macan is just going to kind of amplify
It's the fastest thing we've had. Yeah, the Cayenne, our current Cayenne will do 4.5 seconds 0 to 60. If you're using launch control with the engine and the battery.
Wow.
Right, which is stupid. That's as fast as the original Cayenne Turbo. And this is a hybrid that gets 60 miles a gallon or 50 miles a gallon is what we've been averaging. I don't know. But the new one will do 3.9. And the way we've been using the hybrid has been mostly driving on the hybrid power. So 175 horsepower, which is everything you drove today was under 175 horsepower.
Right.
You don't need more than that. But to have the ability to go full throttle and get, 500 horsepower out anytime and still not be kicking on a gas engine,
Right.
I think is going to be a pretty fun thing, just to be able to squirt in and out of traffic and go jam around. I got to drive the also ice gray Taycan 4S Cross Turismo last night. So when you make a decision to get rid of a car and then something just has to happen to it. You've never gotten rid of a car. I'm talking to the audience. So when you decided, you made an agreement and you've got your car and it's supposed to go back to the dealership on Tuesday. It's Sunday night. And all of a sudden a rock pops up and smashes your windshield.
Right.
It just, it's somebody's law. I don't know. Who's the god of car sales? It's his law. And
Eddie Murphy.
Something has to happen to your car before you turn it in. So we were driving home last week. I think it was Thursday, so maybe I mentioned this on the show before. But Lauren caught a pothole, just destroyed 2 tires on the driver's side.
Right.
Didn't do any damage to the rims. Everything's okay on that side, but it was just one of those God.
Right.
So that's kind of what, I don't know what started the process, but that was partly involved. So we got all the new tires on it and everything. And that's going to be, but my car's going to be available with a brand new set of Pirelli Scorpion 22-inch monster tires. I'm kind of sad about the Macan because did you ever watch Silicon Valley?
No.
You need to. I'll give you this assignment. It's a great comedy show about Silicon Valley. But one of the guys is one of their angel investors is a billionaire until his stock goes down, and now he's not. He's only got $900 million, and he's totally depressed because his bank account doesn't have 3 commas in it anymore.
Right.
And he's going to have to go away from the doors that go like this, and he's going to have to get cars with doors that go like this. And it's a billionaire problem. And I now have to go from 315 profile tires to 295s. I've lost the 3 leading digit on my performance tires. So
your SUV.
I know. I'm going to have to.
That's pretty
have to
wild.
work through that.
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit.
Right. That's okay. You'll get past it.
Yeah. But my car. Sick Cayenne. If you're not ready to jump into the full EV thing, I think hybrids are a great way to kind of tiptoe into it. When you want the power, you got it. When you want it to be angry, I've got sport exhaust. It's got air suspension, rear steering, big ball and 22-inch body color painted wheels. It's Algarve blue, which is the super dark metallic blue. Silver roof rails, silver around the windows.
That's a beautiful
premium
car.
package plus. It's stunning. It's and it's great to drive. So
I have a long drive home. Every day. And last night I called some family. I'm horrible about calling family and checking in. And my family consists of my parents and my sister. Right? You'd think it'd be a little bit easier, right, to check in from time to time, but anyway, so for the family that watches, I'm sorry that I don't check in more often.
Well, this is checking in. They can tune in.
They can tune in. Anytime,
if you want to know what's happening with me, tune in on Friday nights. Chat us up. If you give us a donation like the Shift guys, we'll probably even read your question on air.
So on my drive home last night, I call my mom. They, after however many years of having the same landline at home at the house, they got rid of it a few years ago, which is so crazy to think
To
about.
have it or to get rid of it?
To me, mentally, not calling that phone number, and it's because that's a phone number that will be in my brain forever, right? So
952-942-8385.
there you go.
And then the other one was 952-942-5052.
That's good. See, those are childhood landline phone numbers, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'll remember my home.
612-722-4243. That was the one I had when I was in kindergarten. Wow. Check that out. Yeah.
What, you changed phone numbers?
We moved.
And so you had to change phone number? Like,
Yeah.
where'd you move?
From Minneapolis out to Edina. So from...
And they made you change phone numbers?
Yeah. 612 area code to a 952 area code. Or, I don't know, maybe my parents were fleeing something.
All of Wyoming is like 307. So anyway, I don't know my parents' cell phone numbers, right? They're programmed into my phone. Well, anyway, so, it's, hey, call Susan Mobile, right? So anyway, she picks up, they're home. They're watching movies, doing whatever. And yeah, just wanted to, hey, check in, say hi. And hey, I'm really sorry. They very recently celebrated their 52nd wedding anniversary, which is awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's really good.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
You gave up a long time ago. I'm happily married. I'm totally kidding.
So I wanted to check in about that because in the past I've always gotten a card out in FedEx the day before or whatever, so they got an anniversary card, all that stuff. So anyway, I get to catch up for a little bit and see what's going on with them, and then that prompted me that I hadn't talked to my sister in St. Paul for a while. And so I needed to thank her, for Christmas and just get caught up. And I caught her on a pretty lucky time. My brother-in-law was at his curling club. That's a thing.
Yep.
It's kind of a status thing, I think, from what I understand.
It's like playing squash.
Yeah, in Minnesota, instead of California, right? So anyway, Darren was out at his curling club thing. So my sister Wendy was having her night, at home, and so I got to talk to her for like a solid half hour, while I was driving up to meet my kids for dinner. And where this is kind of leading to is she recently got a new plug-in hybrid car. And she lives in Minnesota, and it's cold there, right now.
Yep.
And one of her things that she hasn't quite dialed in yet is how to get heat going in the car sooner. So I was going to ask, like I had a 2017 Cayenne hybrid, and I don't remember, that being an issue, and especially when there was preconditioning, which now she's doing, like she's started doing that process. But I mean, in the Cayenne, you get heat in the car pretty quickly, right? I mean, it heats up pretty fast.
Yeah, it's
because the gas.
It's as close to instant as I've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, so, and I guess backing up for the people that may not know, I'm talking about in a hybrid where the gas engine's not on, right? You're driving on pure electric power before the gas engine comes on. And that was kind of the concern from my sister's side. And I thought that was interesting on like, why is it taking her car so... Now, she's not driving a Cayenne.
I bet that's my guess is, we joke that, Porsches are very robust, but if something goes wrong, it's expensive to fix because the parts are expensive, right? You're not paying $100,000 for a car that is built of $30,000 worth of parts.
Right.
You're paying $100,000 for something that's built with $92,000 worth of parts or whatever it is. So I think when you're probably designing these cars, you got to make decisions on, how many watts of heating energy do you want the electric heater to put out? And if most of the, your cars are all going to be sold into warm climates in California, and that's your primary market, maybe you think, well, I can skimp out a little bit on that and save $10 a copy on 1 million cars. I just saved $10 million. And if you're stuck up in Minnesota, it's going to take a minute to get some heat coming through.
So that's actually kind of her exact thought process is that it was really difficult for her to find this car. And she knew what she wanted. And then as soon as she found it, And this one happened to be just loaded to the gills as far as all the options are concerned. And she just knew that I don't want to mess around with this. I just want to get it because these are impossible to find in the area. And she's kind of thinking, well, maybe this is why, like it's just, because when you're driving around in Minnesota in the wintertime, you need heat, to survive. Yeah. And it's just taking longer to get in there. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Maybe we can hot rod her electrical heating
right? Yeah.
system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she loves the car. She's
Hybrids
having
are cool.
a good time. Yeah, no, absolutely. I told her I'm a huge fan of it. And I asked her if the car had the ability to do that preconditioning on the Porsche side. And actually told her, I said, if anything, it's not only good for you, like beneficial to you, but it's really beneficial to the car, right? To the battery, to let it get to temperature before you start driving and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, she's broken into that. And
yeah, I mean the electric stuff that we've got, and even the hybrids, you can set departure timers.
Right.
So I would wonder if there's something there. If she's leaving every morning at 7 a.m., you can say, "I'm leaving at 7." Have the car at 65 or 85 degrees, whatever you want it to be at.
Yep.
So it's just
fresh. She mentioned that. And it's new for her and her husband, right? And so she's learning different things, and you and Lauren going through the same experiences with the electric car. In the first 6 months, you're going to be learning different cool stuff all the time and educating me for sure and others, around your experience on how to almost like cheat codes, for video games. You'll like, oh no, if we change this up in the car, this makes a drastic difference. And for you as a salesperson, obviously, that just makes you better and stronger as a salesperson.
Yeah.
Understanding what you're talking about.
It's cool for it to be something that's possible. It's turning our Cayenne in, like, we've had it for 7 months. So I kind of feel like, man, we just barely touched that. But we've had, we kept our first one long because that was in COVID and it was impossible to get a new one. And then when our next one, we had to order this next one, and that we kept for an extra 6 months. So we've been in them for, I don't know, probably 5.5 years now.
Yeah.
So we've had some time with it and really loved it, but I think I know that product pretty well.
Right.
So I think we'll keep this one for 6 months and then get me a Dakar.
I like it.
And then I'll know how to sell a 911.
Yep, I like it. No, that's fantastic. Where do we go from here?
Other new stuff. We've got a 2025 Carrera
Coupe,
GT Silver with a black and classic cognac interior with the new
the stitching,
superfluous stitching, I think is what we called it when we did our walk around.
It's a beautiful car.
It's a beautiful car. Yeah, I really enjoy the new 911 shape.
We had one of our first cars that came in was very similar to this. Went really quickly.
Yep.
This car has front axle lift, which the first one didn't. I remember that was a big thing for this car. And no, I mean it's an awesome build. It's stunning. The new, the Dot 2, the new Carreras are like, I have very, very little seat time in one of these cars.
Yeah.
That very little time in shockingly impressive cars. Shockingly impressive. It's kind of crazy where I remember years and years ago when I worked with this guy, Steve. He was the GM of the store. And we did a 997 transition. And so we went from 996 to 997. And then when the 997.2s came out, Steve and I actually traveled together for this launch event, which was kind of funny. But anyway, I think he said it pretty well. He said, going from the 996 to the 997 was like a pretty dramatic change in car. But he said the 997.1 to .2 was like a millennial leap, right? And you wouldn't think that was that possible.
Yep.
I think kind of the same thing has happened in the 992. The 992.1, awesome car. I would drive that every day and love it. And then the .2 version, even with the super little time that's in it, it's unbelievable like how good that car is. It's how did they make that much of a change, right? Just crazy. So anyway, if you haven't been in a 992.2, I highly encourage, check it out. I mean, it's shocking. Like, it's really shocking.
Like the things I didn't think I'd like, the full digital dash.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool. I think they did it well. The push button start's going to take me a while.
Yeah, that is going to be a tough one to get
But,
through.
It's progress.
Yeah. John is waving hi to his friend Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Or when you get home to watch this later. Appreciate all your business that you do here.
It's so fun, like building these relationships with people and kind of getting to know them a little bit. And, you'll go longer than I'll go longer than I should without talking to people. But then, being able to just pick up and continue on and, I think it's pretty fun. So, I've been doing this for 7 and a bit years now. Or I guess April will be 7 years in sales. So let's say I've been doing it for 7 years.
Okay.
That's a lot of your life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe not. I'm 42.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
And you think of, so if you met somebody in 7th grade, right? Now you're a junior in college and you've known this guy that long.
Yeah.
When it's kind of wild.
Yeah. You went through all the awkward stages. And
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
A lot of life changes in that time.
exactly. And the good thing is I'm still here. He's still doing great. And yeah,
My buddy Josh, it's funny you mentioned like 7th grade. My buddy Josh that was just down here getting his Macan serviced, looking at Panameras.
yeah.
and stuff.
We're gonna sell him one live on the air.
That's right.
next week.
That's right.
When that thing's ready.
Get ready, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, get Sarah if you need her. But I've known Josh since I think it was 7th grade. I'm pretty sure it wasn't grade school. It was 7th or 8th grade. And what's funny is that he actually was really good friends with another, like a mutual friend of ours, because they lived really close to each other. They lived in the neighborhood. And I lived in a neighborhood where you had to drive to, or at least like a pretty decent bike ride away. Anyway, but we would hang out and do stuff and do stupid stuff, as boys do or whatever in middle school. But today, I mean, Josh is definitely, like he's a lifelong best friend, person.
Yep.
And yeah, we've been through a lot of crazy stuff, even though we weren't, with each other, physically, if you will, as far as in, crazy times, but the relationships, like I've known Josh since I was in 7th grade. But a lot of the clients that I know through here and through, previous place of business, I almost feel I don't have that strong of a relationship with them, but I get along with them like that. Right. And I can definitely see myself that when I'm 90 years old, I'll still be talking to these same people, right? If we all make it that far. But no, you're absolutely right. You earlier today, what did you say tonight? It was something.
I wouldn't care if he got hit by a bus.
I will bring that up. No, it was something about it's luck. It's not skill. And I said, no, that's not it at all. It is skill. The skill is being able to not only begin, but maintain relationships and grow that, right? Because there's one and done, you know, I mean, like, it's like, hey, Andrew, nice to meet you. Thanks for buying the Cayman. See ya. Yeah. That's one. But that's not what you do, right, with your clients, right?
I hope not.
He was a great case. The first time that he came in, it was unassuming. Looked like he just came off the line at a fast food restaurant because he did.
Yeah.
Right. But now he's had like 7 cars from you or something crazy like that. Over a pretty good span of time, and that's the skill, right? Is being able to maintain those relationships and make it fun. Make it just anyway. So. Don't ever discredit yourself. That's for sure.
No, I agree. I think the skill is being able to deal with being a fully commissioned salesperson because it's soul crushing at times.
Yes.
When when you're thinking about how much is going to be coming out of your checking account in the next month. and how little it looks like is potentially going to be going back in. Like, and just to be able to swallow and
Right.
still show up and smile.
A lot of ups and downs.
Yes, exactly. And overall, it's pretty consistent. But I really enjoy the months where like it's the 6th, and I know I made a paycheck. And,
Yeah, right.
then I can just have fun and relax the rest of the time, and I'm a different person when it's a
stressful.
nail bite into the 30th of the month, and I'm
can be
here on my
stressful.
day off because I have to be, because a half a car deal is going to be the difference between 2 bottles of wine every night and a half a bottle of wine for the month. Whew. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a different kind of stress. That's for sure.
But I think that's another thing.
I did make some notes this morning.
Let's not talk about buses hitting people.
No, I'm not going
right.
to talk about it. That's down here.
All right.
Well, I'll just tell you the way that I wrote it. Hit by a bus or driving the bus. And then I just ended it. I just ended it there.
No, I wouldn't want to drive the bus, but
No.
I might not pull you out of the way. I might be like, shoot, I couldn't. I forgot the word for
Look
bus.
out.
Yeah. Look out. Oh, no.
Let's see here. Bad resto mods.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what could we do that nobody else is doing or would buy?
Here is one of my pet peeves. Phone calls about fake products. Where the example from today is someone called in and said, I want to get on the list for the new 914.
Right.
That doesn't exist, sir. But I saw it on the internet.
Right.
It looked real. It's coming. I can't believe you guys don't know about it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
Well, what's wrong with me is I look at Porsche Newsroom and I follow Porsche, not
Right.
Car Craze YouTube or car guys that make shit up.com. It's like, I'm all for, deep fakes and AI generated content. Like when the one I saw, did I show it to you, of a lady petting a great white?
Yes. Right.
That was adorable.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, I want a great white
funny.
pet too. But you know what I know? That's not real. That's not real. She's not swimming with a great white and petting the little guy. And
Right,
you're not
right.
smiling and wagging his tail.
Yep.
So I think as a society, we need to do a better job of figuring out what's real. So
Could you imagine? Let's just say that you've been given the task of, John, I need you to call the first 10 clients that come to mind and put them and tell them that they need to be on the list for the new 914. What do you think if you dialed for dollars, if you picked up the phone and you called those 10 people, says, you're not going to believe this, they're re-releasing the 914. I need a deposit so you can put you on the list. What do you think the response rate would be?
I honestly think that could be a great car. I think there would be room with the new electric Cayman Boxster that they're doing to do a Targa version with a lift-off, leave-it-at-home roof, or something that somehow collapsed and stored in the rear boot. But I think you could do that as a limited release introduction to the 718 successor, and make it awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I could sell that, but the response rate for my current clients would be 0. That car would go to people. I could sell one.
Okay.
I could sell one to a guy that has a beautiful 916.
Oh, yeah.
I would make one phone call. I would get one yes. And then I would ask him if he had any other crazy buddies.
Yeah.
And that would be actually I could sell 2. There's a Pikes Peak Hill Climb racer whose first car was a 914.6.
Nice.
Well, and he learned to drive in a 911, I guess, but I think the first car he bought for himself was a 914.6. I think he would have one.
Right.
And I think
I know who that is.
everybody knows. But I think I could sell 2.
That's good.
2 calls.
All right.
2 for 2.
Well, you heard it here first, Porsche.
Yeah.
We need a new 914, or at least 2 of them. I like it.
I think you could do it. It was a cool, cheap, practical sports car. And if you could keep it the same, and maybe it's got 200 horsepower electric, and it's the cheap one, but it's 50 grand.
Right.
Now your choice is a BRZ or stretch a little bit for a Porsche electric Roadster.
Yeah.
I think there's a market for that. And if you made it a super hot rod version that had wide fenders and 500 horsepower,
Right.
I think that the liftoff T-top roof thing too.
No, that's cool.
It is cool. And if you got the battery under the floor and you got kind of a skateboard thing anyway, whatever you put on top, I don't know that has to be as rigid. So
Yeah.
design it, do it.
Get your Porsche surfboard.
Yep.
Mount it up top.
You should.
Jason mentions he'd take a rebooted 968.
I think that'd be great. Yeah. EA 888 engine up front. Turbocharged 350 horsepower. What kind of manual do we have that would mate to it? Do you have to come up with a new transmission?
Ooh, maybe.
Because unless maybe you could put the Spider gearbox in the back. Just run a torque tube.
Yeah,
right?
keep it
Because the Spider gearbox stays in back anyway.
Keep it a real transaxle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep.
Yeah, just asked, wasn't the 914 supposed to be a Volkswagen? Just build it off the GTIR platform.
Yeah, but that's front wheel drive.
Yeah.
That sucks. Means you crash into trees.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's so. How did that even get started? As far as
we were looking up the fake video of the new 914,
Right.
and then that led to a Top Gear video where they reviewed
Right.
a $400,000 914 resto mod. And what we said is, this is what was our question, like, how do you? Well, what my point was,
Right.
I have had bad ideas too. And I have put a lot of my money into this old Volvo that is also not worth anything.
Right.
And if I had $500,000 to spend on my old Volvo, it would probably be almost as awesome as that 914.
Right.
Right. I don't think I'm as good as the people that built that thing, but maybe I would have been. Maybe it'd be a little better. Maybe it'd be a little worse. I don't know. But if you wanted to do a resto mod on something that no one would buy, what would you do?
Right. Right.
And my answer stays in the Volvo realm, obviously. The 240 series of cars.
Yeah.
That's, if you close your eyes and picture a Volvo and you're my age, that's the one. It's a box. Well, it's 3 boxes.
Right.
Or if it's a wagon, it's 2 boxes. Jason Schmidt just sent me a Lego Volvo 240. It's literally 2 bricks. It's 2 red bricks of different lengths, and it looks like a Volvo wagon, and that's exactly right.
That's funny.
But there was a coupe, there was a 2-door sedan. I don't know if I can call it a coupe. There was a Bertone-bodied chop top that was pretty cool. There was a 4-door sedan, and there was a 5-door wagon. So you could do all of these different platforms with the same parts development. I think you could have, for not that much money, you could build a 4-cylinder, 400 horsepower turbo engine for it. You can put in a Tremec 5 or 6 speed. It's a solid axle at the back. I don't think you need to update that. I think leave it the way it is and get some cool newer trick suspension. And I think you could have a reasonable, I think you could build 100 of each and sell 100 of each, of 100 coupes, 100 sedans, and 100 wagons. So now you got 300 cars. I think you could sell those for 100 grand and have something kind of cool.
Like each or for all of them?
Yeah. 100 for the run. Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good.
But realistically, you can't build a car for 100 grand.
Yeah, not
up to the standards, because the dashes are all gonna be wrecked. You're gonna have to tear the whole thing down to the body and build new dashes
Right.
for them and stuff. And I don't know, but that's what I would build.
That's cool.
where if we were billionaires, that's where I would waste all my money.
Right.
Is Volvo
Take your
240 resto mods.
Big pile of money and turn it into a smaller
pile. Yep, exactly.
That's pretty good. Oh, and where this started this morning, as far as taking some notes. Frustrated with transportation.
Yeah, but you got to answer what you would waste all your resto mod money on.
Maserati Lagonda.
Maserati Lagonda.
Yeah. Or
Aston Martin
I'm
Lagonda?
sorry.
Okay, yeah.
They're
all right.
the same at the time. They're very undescribable, or not undescribable, just nondescript, like non-distinctive cars. Like they're very generic, just very basic. You wouldn't know that it's an Aston Martin, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think those are cool. Evil Knievel had one.
a Lagonda.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Well,
But-
look what happened to him.
But he had some kind of like crazy hot rod big block engine or something like that put into it because the Aston Martin engine kind of sucked. Pretty sure that's accurate. Not saying the Aston Martin engine sucked, but I think he did yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. No. I've seen a couple of those cars, the Lagondas.
Yeah.
Kinda
I think they'd be
goofy.
cool.
Yeah, kind of goofy little cars, but yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're quirky in a way to where, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what you did to the car. It's you can't make it stand out, or be anything special. So as much as you pour into it to make it something cool and special, but yeah, no one would buy it.
No.
So anyway, that's my short and quick answer. Jason again, Chris Harris doing an affordable XJS resto mod. So I spent a lot of time with Jaguar. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Jag cars that I would love to own. Right. And, but
Not that one.
yeah,
Matt Farah has a good line that it's very expensive to unshitbox something. Like
Yeah.
if you're starting with a shitbox, it takes a lot of money to make that thing not a shitbox.
well, because it's still going to be a shitbox when you're done with it. It just
Maybe
is.
not.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, yeah. And an XJS is kind of like a, yeah,
Beautiful shitbox.
they're something.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something. Did you know, XJS convertibles, did you know that not all of those came out of the factory as convertibles? Some of them were converted to being a convertible at port. Do you know how you can tell?
Put a hose on the top.
That too, right? But the convertible top, right? If it was done at the factory, it is a flush, almost like like when you're cutting trim around windows, right? But it's flush with the window frame. And when they were done at the port, it sits on top of the window frame. The convertible top does.
So were they produced concurrently or were the conversions first and then the factory started making them?
No, they were converted later. So it's, I don't know why, right? It was some weird, who knows who came up with the idea. But no, the XJS convertible was a car, and then there were retrofits being done at the port.
You know what I enjoyed? I think it was Champion Porsche for April Fools released like a 2-door hatchback bread van style Panamera.
Nice.
Or Cayman or a Cayman Targa or something like that. We should try to figure out how to spoof the internet
Right.
for April Fool's Day.
Maybe we could start marketing Honda Actis that are made up like.
That's true. We could do that. Yeah.
So we'd probably actually get real orders.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. Jag's kind of I have a weird relationship with that brand. And I saw them, I was around Jaguar when they were going through a lot of big changes.
So Ford bought them in what, like 04?
Before then.
Okay. Oh yeah, because the S-Type
S-Type is
S-Type was the first, right? And
Yeah.
that was also the Lincoln M.
it was a Taurus. The S-Type is a Taurus. and then the X Type would be dang it, we used to have one. The X Type was a
Not the Lincoln. One of them was a Lincoln. It was because it was rear wheel drive. And
well, the S Type would be more like a Lincoln, yes, but it was a Taurus. And then with a V8, keeping that, which is pretty cool, 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder. Oh my gosh, what was the X Type? Anyway, the X Type was the all-wheel drive version of. I'm thinking it's a Contour.
Yep.
Yeah, Ford Contour, but it had a manual transmission option, which was kind of cool. And the S Type was actually a pretty decent car. The X Type was rushed to market, which was kind of a giant fail, and they sold a ton of those things, right? Because all-wheel drive, automatics, manuals, neat. Yeah, I mean, they were great little cars, but they just rushed them out there, and so they wound up developing major problems. S Types, I would totally own an S Type R, supercharged 8-cylinder.
Jason's right. It's the Lincoln LS.
Yeah,
Those were platform shared. I like the Lincoln LS
I could
too.
see. Yeah,
Yeah. And maybe that's what we should do. Let's buy up a bunch of old Lincoln LSs and swap in the S-Type R powertrain and a manual.
that would be cool. That would be super cool.
We could sell like 6 of those
There
and only lose 30,000 a piece on them.
Right. There was this goofy trick with S-Type Rs that if you rested your foot on the brake pedal just enough to turn on the brake lights, so you're not actually applying any pressure, but you just turn on the just enough to turn on the brake lights, you could squeeze your throttle, all the way down to the floor. Now, granted, you're not holding the brake, so you're going to be accelerating, but it would hold first gear until nearly redline before it would shift, because I think they had a 6 or 8 speed, whatever it was in there, but it would shift. I mean, instantly, like you just go into second gear very fast. But if you just turn on the brake lights and mash it to the floor, the thing would just roast the rear tires. I got caught doing it coming out of the service drive once, got in big trouble. But it was this cool little goofy, quirky trick.
Yeah.
And then, miles down the road or whatever, it would eat its own supercharger. So, I mean, it was just, it had Jag issues, right? No matter what. And then people see the Ford badges on every part, under the hood, which was a little crazy. And then
I think that was the start of platform sharing has been going a while with like Diamond Star motors and Eclipses and lasers and Talons.
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure before, but I feel like that's when it kind of really was starting to take off between, I can't even say that. Look at GM, right? Monte Carlo and what are the others? I don't know.
So it's like platform sharing, definitely a big thing. In what I was taught going through Porsche training is that European car companies think American car companies are kind of dumb, and not as in the product that they're putting out there, but they're advertising against themselves. So Chevy, GMC,
that makes
all
no
that
sense
stuff,
to me at all.
Yeah, exactly. You're competing against yourself, right? So in that form, the Europeans are kind of like, why would you do that? That's ridiculous. And then at the same time, though, European car companies for a very long time have been using the same parts to make different cars. And like, so the way that they would describe that 911s, for example, 911s and Boxsters, like they were using the same door handles. There were efficiencies in order to make that work. But they get to use them, for different products and make a completely different car. However, they do get to share some of those same parts, right? So anyway, that was just about the efficiency side. I definitely understood with the, why would you rebrand your same product 3 different ways? That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's so the platform sharing, a big thing with the Macan, right, and the Audi Q5. People saying, they're the same car. They're not the same car. No. And when you do see the diagrams of how much is shared between those cars, it's a lot. I mean, it is a lot, for it. But why not? It works out. That's okay. And they're not the same car, so they're not. I mean, they are competitors with each other, but it's not the same as in a Chevy and a GMC. It's way more different than that. But no, I think the Ford and Jag was an interesting time, and Ford did a lot of really great things for the brand. And I was with that, when they went through the sale, selling Jaguar Land Rover to Tata, who still owns them now.
Yep.
And Tata did nothing but great things for the brand. And what's a little crazy is Ford had amazing ideas for the Jag lineup, right? They couldn't do it. They didn't have whether it wasn't the money or the drive or whatever. So a lot of the initial product that came out when Tata first bought the company, those were all Ford stuff. Is Tata was just giving Ford money to produce them. Like, oh, this is good stuff. Wow, this is going to work out. You guys just need to get this on the road. So Tata, they looked great because the F-Type, had come out. That was all Ford's stuff. But anyway, so they actually make a really good product. They just don't, but they've got a bad rap, that they need to get past. And so F-Type, I would totally rock an F-Type. F-Type R. I would do a rear-wheel drive car, though.
I'd do the S with the manual.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I don't think the R's ever came manual.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No.
I think that'd be
too much power.
Yeah. No, it happens. Yep.
They sound amazing. They drive really well.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Coupe or convertible?
Coupe.
Convertible.
Yeah. The very first, the V8S convertibles, those were the first ones that came out. Oh my gosh, man, you start that car.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those cars scream. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That's a great value of a car right there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're never going to come up in value because it's a Jaguar. So
the hard part with stuff like that, I think, is just, what's going to happen with parts.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
But one thing I learned about Tata during all that stuff is that they don't sell businesses.
They just kill them?
No, they keep them forever. Like they're in it for the long haul. Now maybe it gets kind of quasi diluted or dissolved into other, another business of some kind. But no, they don't sell. They just buy.
Well, if you've got a Lincoln LS that's just kind of taking up space,
right?
Bring it by. We'll pay top dollar.
Yeah.
That sounds like
top crisp $1.
Well, that's fine.
All right. Just because I wrote this down, this is how I got my notes started.
Yeah.
And we only got a couple minutes left. Being frustrated with transport. Yeah. And so what I wrote in my little notes, I was venting this morning about some of this stuff. My note says you're spending $100,000 to $400,000 on a car that's about 6 inches narrower than the truck a human being is about to drive the car into and transport it using public roads through weather and unpredictable conditions. Is now the time you should really be considering ways to save a couple $100?
I vote yes. Penny saved is a penny earned, Justin.
Hey, it's not what you spend; it's what you keep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's once in a while. It happens often. It happens so often, right? That in this environment, that you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a car, and then all of a sudden, you shop for the best bargain you can find, not value.
Yeah.
You shop for
the cheapest.
The cheapest transport.
Yeah.
And now, as I was explaining this morning, is that there's no way to educate the common public on transportation do's and don'ts and frustrations and things that go along with transporting cars. Because for us here at the store, we deal with transportation pretty much every day. At this store, we do, right? Well, I do.
Yep.
Whereas in our clients, they don't. They deal with it maybe once in a lifetime, if ever. And sometimes clients deal with it a few times in their lifetime, at least while they're doing business with us, depending on. So you can't, there's just no way because you don't know what's going to happen. Most people didn't get up this morning think they would ship a car across the country.
No.
Well, most people didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you're shipping a car across country, for most people, it's a first and maybe only time. So you don't know what to expect, right? You don't know what some of the possible headaches and frustrations, and it doesn't matter what, you and I tell our customers.
Well, here's the problem. You go on Amazon you say I need a USB cable, and potentially it's at your house before you are. So that's the culture we're coming into. You know, your pizza's there in 30 minutes or it's free.
Yeah.
So it's easy to move stuff. Stuff goes all over all the time.
Right.
Why is it hard? You know, the destination charge for my new Porsche is only $1,600, and it's coming all the way from Germany.
Yeah.
Like why is it $2,000 to get it up to New York from you guys? They're valid questions.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they're wrong, but
Right.
they're valid. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's not like FedEx. There's no global shipping company that has airplanes and triple hauler, you know, vehicle things and easy load boxes and, you know, distribution hubs.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder, I'm thinking now, but what an impossible business.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult.
Because
I mean, incredibly difficult. It doesn't matter if you're working with the guy that has his truck and his one car hauler.
Yep.
Or
Who
if
cares so much.
absolutely.
And it's his business and he loves it and he is going to document everything.
Yep.
And if the car's a little dusty, he's going to just rail us. And
Yep. Yep.
or the guy that doesn't even want to be doing this and he just has to.
Or the big giant companies.
Yep.
Right. That are the luxury liners. It does not matter.
Yep. You know what happens?
I know what happens.
Shit happens. It just does. And no matter how hard you prepare,
Yep.
you're driving something in something else on streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah.
It's very difficult. It's a very, very difficult business. So anyway, it's on the, I get concerned for our customers, right? Because as on the consumer side of it, I mean, I wouldn't like not knowing, you know, what's going on
Yeah.
from point A to point B. It's weird. And as I express to our transportation companies, no matter how much they do or they don't actually follow direction, but it's communication,
Yeah.
right? I mean, when you don't communicate with a client, things don't go well.
Yep.
Well, but when you do stay in communication with a client, even if the news isn't good, it's still usually a
you know.
positive outcome.
Yep.
Right. And on the transport, that's one thing that it's hard as well, is that the communication is just a different platform, and yeah, it's hard. It's kind of a constant struggle.
And I had a car shipped to a previous client, great guy. It showed up filthy. And he knew it's not our fault, but he's still not happy with us. And he shouldn't be, because, you know, you're paying an appropriate amount for the car to get there and you're paying for it to be inside. What the hell happened?
Right.
Like, why is my car filthy? Did you like pull it away here, drive it open, and then put it in another trailer and deliver it to me? Because that's what it looks like. How are there bug guts on it if it's been inside the whole time? Like, I don't know. It's so.
Yeah.
Somebody figure out an answer.
Yeah. No, it's tough, man. It's really tough. But anyway, I had to vent this morning, and here we are tonight. It's what time is it? 8 o'clock.
It's time to turn it off.
Yep. And I'm over it now. All gooder.
Let's end on a positive note.
Yeah.
Come to our movie tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
If you didn't sign up for it yet, text me 612-961-2381, and I will
That's
send
on the
you the
interwebs.
Yeah, no, forever. It's on every one of my videos anyway. So what's the difference? Send nudes. Noodles. The movie will be Edith. It's the story of driving up a gigantic active volcano. It's not active, but a volcano in Chile to set a world record, or maybe not. Maybe they failed. But they made a movie about it, so you can probably guess they did okay. And that's at the Regal Cinema here in Colorado Springs tomorrow night, Saturday the 25th at 7 o'clock. You can't just show up, so email me or text me or call us to get the registration link. But love to see everybody there. I know we've got some friends coming. I got to see the movie in Monterey.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you'll see at least one, maybe, I don't know if it'll be familiar to you, but I know two guys in the movie.
Right.
So it's pretty cool stuff. So
Yeah, no, super exciting about that. And then just a quick announcement. Tomorrow, registration opens up for our Porsche Classique Taustrofen 2025, which is going to happen March 1st. Had to make some judgment calls there. So February 22nd weekend is when we initially kind of wanted it.
Yeah.
And then realizing that that's the Lytton Toy Show out in LA for the 356 Club stuff.
Yeah.
That's a giant event.
that'd be cool. Yeah,
That's
we
a
don't
really
wanna, we
big.
don't want to compete with that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to compete because I mean we have local people here traveling to that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And March 1st, figure it's still early enough. It's still going to be probably a little bit cold and miserable outside. So even though the Lafayette Cars and Coffee is going to be happening, and which is way north of here, and then potentially some other people getting things
Let's
going
rent
on the
some
first
fire
Saturday.
pits.
However, this is indoor.
Oh, let's
right?
not rent fire
It's
pits.
indoor at the Porsche Colorado Springs new car showroom, and if registries fill up that much, we'll do it in the pre-owned building as well. But expecting a great, very fun turnout like it normally is.
No entry fee, but you have to buy a car from John that day.
That's right. Yeah, it's completely free. The booth space is free, and I'm actually going to open it up to where you can actually reserve 2 booth spaces if you need it, just because I noticed the last time we did it inside, people needed a little bit more room. So allowing you all of that space.
Cool.
So Kaysen's Cars and
I already sent him a message.
good. Yeah. So
He's here. He's doing it.
yep. So we definitely need everybody that's participated before. And then now that this is our 3rd annual Classique Taustrofen, we should have even more people want to participate. So anyway, so registration opens tomorrow.
Let's have
March 1st.
let's have an autograph corner
Okay.
where you and me can sit at a table and sign autographs for $5.
Boobs and butts.
Yes, exactly. That'll be fun. If there's an extra table,
If there's one left over.
All right,
Yep.
we're 2 minutes late.
Okay.
Thanks everybody. We will see you tomorrow at the Edith premiere.
Yep.
Or whatever it is.
Or